So inside of HMP Bronzefield,
Yeah,
what's the situation with the wings? Is everyone just mixed, or have they got like the high risk wing, or have they got like a unit, and have they got the
yeah.
protection in there as well?
So basically, you got the ones, the twos, threes, and then the fours is the privileged wing, where probably Lucy Letby will be put because people won't want to hurt her on there because they either like her or they're getting ready to be released and they're not going to want to ruin going and seeing their children to get someone. Do you know what I mean? So she's kind of safe and is that sort of situation.
So
She could still get
how many
got.
prisoners is on that wing then? Is it a big wing or is
I'm
it
not.
just a small?
It's not big. I mean, I don't know because I was never on there. I
Right.
swore blind I would never go on there, even if I got bloody life sentence, because I knew I'd get myself in trouble. Well, actually, if I was in a life sentence, it wouldn't matter, would it? But if I went over there, I would have got in trouble. They have privileges, like they have showers in their cells, they have a TV room. Like, what? Why are these people getting privilege? Chuck them
Well,
in the population.
like you've seen the video that I've just released about Lucy Leppy about having her own key.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yes,
what's the
exactly what you
situation
said.
with that?
It's only to literally stop people going in your cell. I had one, never used it because I had like a little clique of friends, and I knew that if they were and they seen anyone going in my cell, then there would have been problems for that
There's a lot
person.
of people are thinking that she's got a key so she can let herself in and out
No.
whenever she wants. But like I said in the video that I've just released, them keys are just to lock your door to stop people going in
Yes,
once you've
yes.
already been opened off the screws.
If you're not liked, people don't want people. They're going to worry that someone's going to come in and steal their stuff or break their stuff or trash their cell. So that's why they've given her a key. She definitely isn't getting in and out of her cell. That's for sure.
I
The
just, I
media,
just be able to put it across
media
that
always
just,
write things wrong to like exaggerate things.
the papers have put it across that just living the life of luxury. She's got her own key. She's in and out whenever she wants. But it's just,
No. She might be on the floors. There is a possibility she might still be in. I think she'll still be in Seg at the moment. I don't think she'll be on the floors at the moment. They're going to really have to assess the situation, and they're really going to have to look at who's over on the floors, like on the privilege ring. They're really going to have to assess what each
what do
prisoner's
you
in there
think?
for.
What do you think the female prisoners' mindsets will be in prison? They'll all be wanting to get a hold of her, won't they?
Except for the ones that are like her, or the ones that desperately want to get
Yeah.
home to their kids, and they're literally almost there, and they don't want to. They don't, because like I would. So there was a girl that left her baby for 6 days while she went out clubbing, and the baby died. And when they found the baby, it had all maggots in its nappy. She come on our wing as a list. They call him a listener. They have a red coat and they go
Yeah.
around and talk to people who are depressed and all that. She was running around laughing, having like some like sexual thing going on with one of the people on the wing, a big trans guy, female, female to male. So she was biologically female, but was on testosterone. So it was a big. And I had a big. We had a big to do because I was gonna beat her up because I didn't like the fact that she was running around smiling and laughing. She only got 8 years. I know drug dealers that got longer than that. She have to have a baby die. That's murder. You don't leave a baby for 6 days. I wouldn't even leave six
No.
hours. Like, oh, it makes anyway. So it wound me up so much, and because she was coming off, she wasn't actually housing our wing. She was housing another wing, but because she was having this like affair with this like trans guy, she kept coming on the wing every day. And the more and more I saw her, the more and more my blood was boiling. And I said to the girls, I was like, I'm gonna end up beating her up. I can feel it. I can feel it. Anyway, someone's got word to him, to the trans guy. I'll say his name. I don't care. TJ. I've already spoke about him in my videos. I don't care. I'm not scared of him. Even if I went back now, I'm not bothered. So he said he got me in the laundry. He said, "I need to talk to you about something." And we got on very well before this. Like but I did notice he started winding everyone up on the wing. He'd push in the queue in the servery. He'd demand things. He would get, because he was trans, he used to get allowed out the cell in the morning to have a shower with everyone else. Great, fair enough. That's absolutely fine. But what he'd do is he'd have his shower and then he'd sneak into the bath, the bit where the bath is, and he'd just stand in there for ages so that none of us could get unlocked. Like, so he's just winding people up, like thinking he was running the place.
Yeah.
So he heard that I wanted to beat her up. And because I was I was chatty and like, I seemed like a happy-go-lucky sort of person, like, and I've never had a problem with anyone before. I think he thought I was a bit of a pushover and I'll be scared of him. And he's gone, she's really well protected in here. I'll let you off this time. And I had, because I hadn't cut these humongous, ridiculous nails that I used to wear, hadn't cut them off yet. I went, oh, okay, all right then. And I left it at that and I walked out. I've walked up the stairs to the girls on the landing where everyone's like sits and drinks their coffee together. Said, right, who's got nail clippers? And these things were a bugger to get off. They were so thick and the nail clippers were so thin. And I was like this, like over the bin, and everyone's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? And I was like, just you wait, just you wait. Like, I was fuming. I was ready to fight. Like, my adrenaline was pumping. And he's come up the stairs and I've gone, get in my cell now. I was like, get in my cell. I was like, you think you're gonna threaten me like that in the laundry room? Well, come on then, threaten me now in front of everyone else. Come in there and deal with. So I would have got hurt. It was much bigger than me. He was like, you know, but I didn't care. Like, I'm not letting someone threaten me. I'm not. I don't care. Especially if I see him, he looks like a man as well. So I see him as a man, so it triggers me, like, massively.
So what was his reaction to that then? Oh.
He couldn't. The look of shock on his face. He couldn't believe, because he didn't think I was like that. No one had seen that. Nobody had seen that side of me before. And you know, after that, I never had any problems with anyone. No one tried it. I was kind of included in that little clique. You know, you get you get levels, don't you? Bit like at school, you get your levels, and I was included in the little clique. Didn't particularly like a lot of them, but just to keep myself, you know, relatively more safe, stayed in that clique.
Now, I just want to speak a little bit about this TJ fella.
Who?
This TJ fella. That to me, you just can't get your head around this. So they're actually giving him/her testosterone in prison.
Yeah. One of them had their boobs removed. Another one, not going to mention their name because I never had a problem with them. They had their breasts removed, operation, whilst they were in prison. I swear to God. So what do you think? There was also a male in there called Cat. He actually had a penis, and he got 2 girls drunk on hooch with 2 vulnerable girls, and he got caught R-wording them, because they were so out of their mind they couldn't have consented, and they shipped him out, I think, to Downview because they've got a trans unit. Why was he there? Why is he not there in the first place?
I've done a video on this previously about the Scottish prisons because it's happened up there, but that to me is just outrageous. Like, I can't get my head around that.
Because I knew Cat, I was in there with him, and he told me he used to take the hormone patches off because he wanted to be a female. He didn't. He was in there for murder as well. He'd been in prison for murder. He'd been in prison 15 years, and they put him in with the women, right?
That's outrageous.
They told me he would take his patches off and put them in the bin. He had pictures of women with their boobs out all over his cell. Like, you could tell. And the only thing that he did was put a bra and a thong in his wash, so it made it look like he was trying to be a woman. Like, literally, that was it. He walked like a bloke, talked like a bloke. He was a bloke.
How can they put somebody like that in a women's prisons when they're putting the women at risk? It's all madness.
The world has gone mad, and everyone's too scared to stand up and talk about trans people. I have a very, and I can't say who, but I've got a very close trans family member, so I have nothing against trans people, but he's taken the absolute biscuit, without swearing, because he didn't want to be trans. He isn't trans. He's using it as an excuse, and it's disgusting. They're allowing them to do this, to get away with this. Like, there was another one, wasn't there? He just stuck a blonde wig on one day after he got in trouble and said, "Oh, I'm trans." Do you remember that one?
It was the one up in Scotland. I think it was. Can't remember the name, but he was a rapist, and he'd been in prison for doing that to women, but then they went and put him in a women's prison because he wanted to be identified as a woman.
It's a shame. It's a shame some big ass butch bird didn't give him a good beating.
So what about this TJ fella? Does he want to get sent to a man's prison?
Oh no! So no. Oh, of course not. Of course, he don't want to be in a man's prison. No, he's silly. No, he wants to be with the women, didn't he? He was trying to get with some of them. Me and him were all right for a little bit, so I started noticing his behaviours and the way he treated people, and then I started like backing off. I was like, I'm not hanging around. I'm not talking to someone like that. Anyway, so he's then told the guard, to Screws, the reason that because they all came running. I'll tell you one thing though, in Bronzefield, if something kicks off, they come fast. Like if you're in a fight, it's not going to last long. But then saying that if there's a fight, if someone throws hot water in your face, it's done in seconds. You know what I mean? So bad things can still happen.
What violent incident? Oh, sorry, yourself. Sorry, I was going to say. So, what violent incidents did you witness whilst you were in there?
Mainly self-harm. There was quite a few fights, but a lot of them were on the other wing before I got put onto that wing. So I was on C wing, and their fights were on the B wing because they seemed to put all the crazy, Larry ones on B wing, and for some reason I got moved on there. But TJ got moved. I said to the Screw, I said, he ain't running this wing no more. So you better fucking get him off. Oops, it's
all right.
I was like, you better get him off of this wing because not that I'm gonna run the wing, but he's not gonna run it no more. I'm not. I will fight. I made that perfectly clear, and I was not joking. And so they've locked us all up. They wouldn't even let us out to get our food because there's a little servery in every cell block.
Yeah.
And they would only let 3 people at a time out to get their food to take it back to their cell. And then I heard him going because he's huge. I don't know why he'd be worried about me. Right, so through the crack of the door, obviously he's not in that cell, he's in the cell there. So we can hear him going, she's not out there though, is she? She's locked up, isn't she? She's banged up, isn't she? She's like a wild animal, right? We can hear, and I'm thinking, what? Why would he be even intimidated by me? Like he was huge compared to me. Anyway, it was bizarre. His girlfriend, the one who left the baby to die, they were so worried about her safety, they shipped her out to another prison the next day. I think they shipped her out to Downview. So
no,
yeah.
You're pleased about that then.
Hang on, I'm being called. I'm just going to decline it. Yeah,
so
sorry. Pardon?
I bet you were pleased about that then, seeing the back of him.
Oh, literally. Yeah, it would. I mean, it wasn't the end of him because he'd still get to walk around, and he'd get. It was weird. It's like almost like he had to wink on the guards because they'd let him get away with so much stuff that other people would just got like in so much shit for. I did start a protest once though, because they messed my canteen up. When you're in prison, canteen is a big thing, and if you smoke, vapes are like everything to you, like especially if you're poor and you don't have much of money. And they messed my vapes up, and they didn't give me my vapes, and I begged them for a week to sort it out, and I kept getting told, "Yeah, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later." I said, "You've got till tonight at bang up, and if I haven't got my vapes, there's going to be problems." And I think they thought I was joking. So me and I don't know, in between 8 to 10 guards, I can't remember exactly, would just point blank refuse to go in ourselves till I got my vapes. Someone put the radio on, people were twerking, they had to get all the guards from the other blocks over. And I said, look, they can go in there, they're at their own free will, right? I'm not forcing them to stay out. And I said, they all heard. I said, but I'm not going in because you've messed me about. I've been begging for a week. I'm not sitting in there another night with no vapes, and I don't like borrowing stuff off people because it always ends in fights. It's not worth it unless it's someone I'm really, really close friends with. I wouldn't borrow nothing off someone. So in the end, one of the I don't always say guards, they're like Screws.
One of Screws.
guards. But one of the screws slipped me one in a bit of tissue and said, "Look, just go in your cell and don't tell anybody I gave you this." Because they wanted the situation to stop. And I went, fair enough. I went in my cell. I got one. I was happy with that. I was like, that's fine. I'll go in my cell. But like, yeah, they thought, and then after that, there was another time that they, I was pretty obedient. Like they said, lock up. That's it. I'll get my stuff. I'll be in my cell. No problems. I didn't go around causing trouble. I didn't do any of that. I did stick up for a few people that were being bullied. Like, I'll tell you what, there was a deaf lady that come in and they took her battery out of her hearing aid. Like, why would they do that? The prison took the battery out of this lady's hearing aid. So they put her in with this Romanian woman. Now, this Romanian woman, right, had bullied her last two cellmates out of her cell because she wanted this double cell to herself. And we've noticed that she's trying to make this, and this one was really big and like disabled. She's just trying to get on the top bunk. And you know what them ladders are like? They're like that. There's just no way. I mean, I'd struggle at this size to try and climb up one of them ladders. And she turned the subtitles off. So this woman couldn't even watch her TV. Like she was like she wanted her out of the cell. And I said to one of the screws, I said, you need to get her out of there tonight. Like you can't make her stay. She's sleeping on the floor. You need to move her because she's bullying her. And this guard started mouthing off to me, and I was like, right, I was like, if you keep being rude to me, I'm going to turn everyone on this wing against you. And I did in the end. And I don't even think she'll be there anymore, to be honest. So everyone gave us such a hard time up because she just kept on really picking on me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said, look, we was like, because we've got nowhere to put her. I said, we'll put her in my cell, mate, and I'll go in with her. Problem solved. But they wouldn't do it.
I bet they
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't have beaten her up, but she wouldn't be watching TV.
Yeah.
I'd turn the TV off and I'd have made her sleep on the floor. But they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't, because I hate bullying.
So you were mentioning earlier on, so they've got like a wing for the high risk prisoners, like lifers and that. Because I've got a separate one.
Literally, they have literally just got block 4. So block 1's for the addicts, block 2 and 3 are for just like lifers and remanders. They're like just the general population. And then you've got the privileged wing, which is where they will probably in the end put Lucy Letby when they feel that it's safe enough and it's died down enough. But she could still get attacked because even some of the bad ones in there that have done some really bad things, they might not have done something to a kid. They might have been in there for murder, but they might still look down on her for what she's done. And if they've got life and they're not getting out anyway, then they're not going to care if they're going to get in trouble for doing something.
She'll be attacked numerous times throughout her sentence.
I do believe she's going to be attacked. It's just a ticking time bomb. It's going to happen. Someone's going to. It might start off with just a little beating up, and then I think there's a good chance she could get seriously attacked.
It will off somebody, because there's people in there, like I've mentioned on the video, that are doing that, doing big sentences, and they'll probably just want that badge of honor, so to speak, to say that they're the ones that have done it.
Yeah. And get the name in their paper, because people have forgotten about them. Say they've been in there 10 years. People have forgotten their murder now. Now they've forgotten to the world. They're gone. They're out of this world. They're in their own little world. Prison is like its own little world, its own little community. So they'd love to make a name. Some of them would love to make a name. And I was kind of hoping that they'd put her in the same place as Joanna Dennehy, but they moved her, didn't they? Because she, I think she would have got hold of her if she could have.
Have you heard any stories about Joanna Dennehy in prison?
I've done a documentary on her. She was there before me, but left before I got there. But I did know some girls that was quite close friends with her. And this is.
I imagine in prison she'd be like at the top of the hierarchy, because she's absolute.
100%. Girls wouldn't mess with her. There's absolutely no way. And I would not mess with her. Like if it come to it, I'd fight, but I wouldn't want to. Like, she's not. She's sort of that'll come look back with like a knife or something. Like, she's no way, mate.
What did the prisoners say about her? The ones, like you said, that were close to her.
Well, no, she was apparently she was all right. She got on with everyone. Like, you'd never guess what she'd done wrong. And one of the girls that I know, and I only saying this secondhand information. I don't know. I wasn't there, so take this with a grain of salt. My friend in prison, who obviously I don't know is if they're telling the truth, but they told me that they asked her, like, Joe, why did you do it? Why did you kill them men? And she said that something terrible had happened to her when she was younger, and it had caused her to hate men so much. And if she got out, that she would do it again. That's apparently what she said.
Yeah, well, I think I've heard that before as well.
Oh, really? Maybe she told someone else similar.
I'm sure someone like a prison, one of the screws had said something similar. Don't know. There was something in the newspaper. I read something about it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Apparently, to do it again if she got out, she would kill more men. She enjoys it, and she used to do like weird stuff as well, like cut herself up and that in prison and that. I don't know. She wasn't there when I was there, but I wouldn't have wanted to mess with her. That's for sure.